Hi everyone, I am Angel Escontamina from BSN English 3A. In this video, we're going to talk about The Adventure of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. His real name was Samuel Longhorn Clemens, and he took his pen name from his days as a riverboat pilot on the Mississippi River, where the cry Mark Twain signaled the depth of water. About 12 feet was required for the safe passage of riverboats. He was born on November 30, 1835 in Florida. Mark Twain came in with a comet and, as he predicted, went out with a comet because he died on April 21, 1910, the day after Halley comet. Mark Twain is a talented writer, speaker, and humorist whose own personality shined through his work. As his writing grew in popularity, he became a public figure and iconic American whose work represents some of the best in the genre of realism. Mark Twain spent his childhood in Hannibal, Missouri, a small frontier town on the Mississippi River. His father died when he was just 11 years old, and because of that, he left school after 5th grade to work as a printer's apprentice. Talk about Mark Twain's career. At 18, he moved to New York and spent time as a journalist for various newspapers, and he returned briefly to the Mississippi River to work as a riverboat pilot. He traveled out west in hopes of striking it rich in Nevada's silver rush. So while out west, he began publishing short fiction as well as travel articles in newspapers and magazines. Twain's written works challenged the fundamental issues that face the American of his time, like racism, evolving landscapes, class barriers, access to education, and more. He is celebrated for works such as The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, 1876, and his memoir, Life on the Mississippi, on 1883. Twain's first book, The Innocent Abroad, was published in 1869. It was followed by The Adventures of Tom Sawyer in 1876 and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn in 1885. He wrote 28 books and numerous short stories, letters, and sketches. Mark Twain passed away on April 21, 1910, but has a following still today. Now let us talk about The Adventure of Tom Sawyer. The author of this book is Samuel Clemens, or usually known by his paid name, Mark Twain. It is a type of novel. The genre of this book is concerned with Tom's personal growth and quest for identity. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer incorporates several different genres. It resembles a building roman, a novel that follows the development of a hero from childhood through adolescence and into adulthood. The novel also resembles novels of the picaresque genre, in that Tom moves from one adventurous episode to another. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer also fits the genre of satire, frontier literature, folk narrative, and comedy. The language of this book is English. Time and place written in 1874 and to 1875, Hartford, Connecticut. Date of first publication: the novel appeared in England in June 1876 and 6 months later in the United States. Narrator: an adult who views the adult world critically and looks back on the sentiments and pastimes of childhood in a somewhat idealized manner, with wit and also with nostalgia. Point of view: the narrator narrates in the third person with a special insight into the workings of the boyish heart and mind. Tone: satirical and nostalgic. Tense: past. Setting or time of this book is not specified, but probably around 1845. The setting or place is the fictional town of St. Petersburg, Missouri, which resembles Twain's hometown of Hannibal. The protagonist of this book is Tom Sawyer. Major conflict: Tom and Huck perceive their biggest struggle to be between themselves and Injun Joe, whose goal they want and whom they believe is out to kill them. Conflict also exists between Tom and his imaginative world and the expectation and rules of adult society. In action, Tom and Huck's witness of Dr. Robinson's murder. The search for the boys' bodies in the river when they escaped to Jackson's Island. Tom's testimony at Muff Potter's trial. Tom and Huck's accidental sighting of Injun Joe at the haunted house. Tom and Becky's entrapment in the cave. Climax. Huck overhears Injun John's plan to kill the widows Douglas, and Tom encounters Injun Joe when he and Becky are stranded in the cave. The following action of the story is when Huck gets help from the wolfman and drives Injun Joe away from the widow Douglas. Tom avoids conflict with Injun Joe and navigates himself and Becky out of the cave. Judge Dutcher seals off the cave, causing Injun Joe to starve to death. Tom and Huck finds Injun Joe treasure. Huck is adopted and civilized by the widow Douglas. Themes: moral and social maturation, society's hypocrisy, freedom through social inclusion, and superstitious in uncertain world. Motives: crime, trading, the circus, and showing off. Symbols: the cave, the storm, the treasure, and the village. Foreshadowing: when he is frustrated by his fight with Becky, Tom declares his intention to become a pirate. Foreshadowing his later excursion to Jackson Island. Tom's great fear of Injun Joe foreshadows his later encounters with him. Tom's obsession with the oath he and Huck have taken never to speak about Dr. Robinson's murder foreshadows the fact that Tom will later break the oath and testify at Muff's Potter trial. So, that would be all for today's video. I hope you have learned something. Thank you for watching!